I am going to tell you about 10 best pre-owned, that's a fancy way of saying used, electric cars for your money. And even though most of them are pretty affordable, that's not necessarily the reason why they made this list. These are the best used EVs on the market right now in 2021, and that's why there is no Nissan Leaf from back in the day. I mean, you can get it for like $3,000 on Craigslist, but I don't think you're going to like it much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't like it much when it was $40,000. I did like their commercial though with a polar bear, and you gotta give them credit for that. So let's get to the list. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, used or new, well, you came to the right place. All you have to do is click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon right next to it so you don't miss anything moving forward. Before we get to #1, there's a good news and there is bad news. Let's start with the bad news. And obviously, these are all electric cars from a few years ago. First, their EPA range is not that great, even though there are some exceptions, but also most of these batteries have degraded at least a little bit. Some by 20 and 30 and 40%, so this is something that you need to keep in mind. But the good news is that all of the incentives, the tax credits, these discounts are all calculated in, and even in the case of Tesla, which is on this list, it is cheaper than the current one that Tesla would sell after the same number of years, simply because there was a $7,500 credit here in the United States back in the day. So in no particular order, let's get to #1. And in #1, I got Nissan Leaf. I know what you're saying, Alex. You just told us it's a horrible used electric car. Well, the first one is. The original Leaf, absolutely. But I'm talking about the second generation, which looks nothing like the original one and has at least 151 miles of range. There are some models you can upgrade the battery to 225 miles of range. The complete refresh happened in 2018, so the most used one would only be 3 years old, which means that the battery did not degrade that badly. And look, you can get one with less than 30,000 miles for under $13,000. That's pretty good. At #2, how about a Mercedes-Benz? That's right, an all-electric Mercedes-Benz. A lot of people don't know, but Mercedes used to make this all-electric van or SUV, I don't know what to call it. It was a B class and it had 87 miles of range. Another thing that people don't know about the B class is that it used to have Tesla's technology, because Daimler, the parent company of Mercedes-Benz, used to be one of the biggest investors in Tesla. Now, I know 87 miles minus whatever it lost over the years is not exactly a great range, but a lot of people might find a car like this, and there are a few others like this on the list, very useful. If you live in a big city, this range may just be more than you need, or if your life just happens within a 20 or 30 mile radius, you just have to drop off your kids, go to work, pick up some groceries, and boom, you're back home. This is also a very acceptable range. Or if you are getting a first car for your teenager, as a matter of fact, it might just be perfect because the kid can't go that far in this car. And check it out, you can get this Mercedes for around $14,000 with just under 30,000 miles. At #3, I got Ford Focus Electric. A lot of people don't know that Focus was made in an electric version, but in this case, you want to get one that was made in 2017 or later, because that's when Ford upgraded the range from 76 miles to 115. And look, you can get one with about a dozen of thousand miles on it for just $13,500. And by the way, these are all real for sale ads that I found online. I didn't want to link to them because by the time you're watching this video, they're probably sold, but I just kind of wanted to give you a good idea of what the pricing is. Before we get to #4, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Xpeng Motors. Check out the P7, a beautiful electric sedan that you won't be able to find in the used car section on Craigslist. I just got to drive one myself. It was absolutely amazing. It is equipped with the X-Pilot 3.0 self-driving tech with navigation-guided autonomous driving feature and even some cool games. Check out my full review and check out Xpeng Motors on Facebook. Both links are down below. Let's move on to #4, and I got Fiat 500e, a very cool looking car, not for everybody, but people who like it really like it. It has 84 miles of range originally, and look, you can pick one up under $8,000 with just 20,000 miles on it. And I gotta tell you, I see so many of these cars out there for sale, used with different types of trims and mileage and pricing. So if you really want one, there are plenty for you to choose from. At number 5, and I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball here because this is not an all-electric car. This is what I consider to be the best plug-in hybrid on the market. I drive one myself every day. Of course, I'm talking about the Chevy Volt. Now, this is the second generation, which came out in 2018. So we're going to talk about this particular model. I think it looks better and it has a bit more of the electric range at 53 EPA rated miles, but unfortunately, they don't even make them anymore. Of course, as a plug-in hybrid, it does have a small engine and it can go for another 300 miles using gas, but I gotta tell you, I rarely use gas in my Volt because my life is within 20, maybe 30 miles, so I'm pretty happy with this car. And look, you can pick one up for around $15,000 with just 25,000 miles. At number 6, I got the Volkswagen e-Golf, and I gotta say, this is probably one of my most favorite cars on this list because it still looks pretty modern. It drives pretty well. I drove it a few times here in Sacramento, and even the interior design still holds. It doesn't look that outdated at all. With this car also, look for a 2017 or later model because that's when Volkswagen upgraded the range from 83 miles to 125 EPA rated miles. And look what I found, a pretty much brand new e-Golf with almost no miles on it for $17,000. At number 7, I got Kia Soul EV, a pretty iconic car. People who drive them absolutely love them. There was a hybrid version and a gas version, but of course I'm talking about the all-electric version. It's got 93 miles of the original EPA range, and look, for just under $12,000, you can get one with about 6,000 miles. Pretty much brand new as well. At number 8, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably know this is not my most favorite electric car, but this is a good deal, and of course I'm talking about the BMW i3. This one came out back in 2013, and you have tons of 2014 models out there like this one for about $12,000 with under 20,000 miles. The original range was 124 EPA miles. Now, BMW also had a range extender version, which is a fancy way of saying they had a plug-in hybrid version, which had a little engine and that could take you further using gas. At number 9, we actually have a Tesla Model S, and this is the most expensive used electric car on this list, but you can get some really good deals. Most of the deals are going to come with the 2013 or 2014 models with a 60 kilowatt hour battery, which meant that the range was over 200 miles, 208 EPA rated miles. So even with some degradation, this should have pretty much the longest range, the realistic longest range out of all cars on this list. Here's one of the deals with just a little over 60,000 miles. You can pick this one up for just $25,000. And I know these were not the best years for Tesla. However, whatever could have gone wrong with the cars that you're looking at probably already has and has been taken care of. Of course, make sure of it yourself, but you can really find these cars in pretty good conditions after all of the repairs. And at number 10, of course, the Chevy Bolt EV. This car has been around for a while, so there are plenty of them out there. They're for sale, used, and they are going to get cheaper because they are coming out with a newer second generation version. From the very beginning, they had a pretty impressive range of 238 miles, and check this one out for about $15,000 with just over 20,000 miles. And even though I'm not a big fan of the Chevy Bolt EV, those people who drive them every day absolutely love them. All right, let me know which one is your favorite. And for my premium members, I'm also going to give you a few tips on how to buy a used electric car. If you are not a premium member, well, you can easily correct that error by clicking on the join button, and you will not only be getting some bonus materials and exclusive footage, but you also will be supporting this guy's addiction to paying rent and shopping for groceries. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.